Okay, this is a reply for two videos series made by Andromeda's Wake about the female circumcision. The problem that he appointed is that the medical community accepted as true a lot of bullshit about female circumcision, that they associated the human clitoris as a source of a lot of diseases, including tuberculosis and hysteria and that kind of nonsense. Okay, the main issue here that I want to point as that information that he appointed is true. The medical community up to the 60s or the 50s, they appointed that the clitoris is the source of several problems that today we don't have any evidence of such thing. There is a disconnection, this is the purpose of this video, in the history of the development of the natural sciences and the medical sciences. In the Middle Ages, there was an important stand in the development of any science, because there was an important dogma made by the ruling church in Europe. That was the Catholic and the Protestant, that they are depending of which time frame you are talking about, both have an important dogma that doesn't allow the science to develop. During the modern ages, we are living right now in the contemporary age, but in the modern ages appeared the Renaissance, where these dogmas was abolished, or they intended to be abolished. There was an important struggle in order to fight the truth against this dogma. You know what really happened. People was banished, and you know what kind of nonsense happened at that time. However, it happened, but it only was applied for the natural science. In the medical science, by the opposite, doesn't happen the same, because you sound that it's obvious, but it's obvious that in the medical science you are dealing with people, and the people within the development of science can be hurt. And you know, when you do the experiment and you expose people to some kind of risky or not risky behavior or environmental issue, whatever, they can be hurt. And the medical doctor at that time, until very late maybe in the 70s, in the decade of the 70s or 60s of the 20th century, the doctor doesn't want to learn math, doesn't want to know anything about statistics and studies and that kind of stuff. And usually the dogma was slowly disappearing until that time. I appointed in one of my texts comment about some issues about the heart or cardiovascular surgery that was banished, because the heart was something sacred, and you are not allowed to touch it. And I remember that the first cardiovascular surgery, one of the surgeons have to apologize for one of the teachers, because this was forbidden. I will provide a link below for that. Also, there's an issue about the pulmonary obstructive, the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, surgery that also was banished, because during the development of the surgeries, they made some mistakes I think it was in the 50s, when they make a wrong assumption about the pathophysiology of the disease, and in one time they tried to cut the phrenic nerve, and there was some issues and whatever. Also, there's one of the famous cases of the Nuremberg doctors, and there's a lot of a bunch of issues in the medical science. And for this medical science, the dark ages lasted longer than the natural science, because in the natural science, if something goes wrong, usually people are not really are not really hurt, unless you are talking about some engineering devices, as happened in I don't remember the name. I will make some engineering devices, environmental issues, that kind of stuff. But usually the people is not really hurt. This is the important why we have to stop the dogma. The dogma is very dangerous, and you have to stop it, because you are doing more hurt following the dogma. The issue is that the human are usually evolved to follow the dogma, and that's how come God exists and that kind of authority or whatever. That's good thing. You have to have some kind of order in the society. However, you also doesn't you must not follow. You have to think by yourself and really know when your authorities are doing the good thing and the wrong thing. And one of the few instruments or tools that allow you to do such things is the science, and look for evidence. Thank you for listening to the few that will hear my short speech.